Cornish Mutual, farming insurance experts.
Hello and welcome to this bonus episode of Farming Focus, the podcast for South West farmers brought to you by Cornish Mutual. I'm your host, Peter Green. Today I'm joined once again by farmer Tom Martin and Louise Wallace from FWAG South West, and we're diving into some quick practical tips for farmers who like to inspire young people and connect them with farming. What simple steps can you take and how can you make a real difference without it taking your working day? Tom, for a farmer listening at the moment who's not done anything like this before, what's the very first thing that you would suggest they do to get involved with bridging that gap between farming and young people?
Let me give you four letters, and they won't. It won't be quite what you perhaps anticipate. But an old boss of mine used to say JFDI, which stands for just effing do it. And sometimes we kind of think through things too much. There's a great book called Ready, Fire, Aim, which talks about launching businesses, but actually it's just get things going. Ready, fire, as in get going, and then aim. So it might be to get in touch with FWAG or with the Country Trust or Farms for City Children. Or there's some fantastic organisations. Might be to sign up at farmertime.uk. But I would say just do it. These organisations exist because they're really good at helping farmers like you to play their part. And it might be 10 minutes a fortnight like Farmer Time. It might be a little bit more involved like hosting a school visit, or it might be assisting with a school visit. There are ways to get in. It's not just about completely re-engineering your farm and completely changing your diary. So that's what I would say, Peter. JFDI.
JFDI, I'm sure that we won't be forgetting that one in a hurry. And actually, you've echoed there a little bit what Jenny Olds said about in the bonus episode when we spoke to her about tips for hosting an open farm Sunday event. She suggested that people just go along, help a friend who's holding an event or hosting a school visit. And actually, that can be a really good way in. Louise, how can farmers build those connections with their local schools? What's the best way for them to get in touch, perhaps if they don't have an existing connection, as we spoke about in the main episode?
Yeah, I think go into schools, try and engage, and open that conversation initially. If they're part of an organisation like FWAG, then use their the farm advisors to kind of help make those connections. But definitely engaging with the schools, talking to the schools, making offers, doing farm walks, farm visits, using Tom and his farmer time just to kind of make those initial steps, and it's small steps.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you. So, Tom, you talked a little bit in the main episode about how farmer time can be a reasonably low commitment in terms of time for farmers. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that, and if perhaps people don't necessarily want to jump in and host a visit themselves?
Absolutely. I have the pleasure of speaking to groups of farmers across the UK, and I generally say to them, if you've got a smartphone in your pocket, why don't you just get it out and hold it? I mean, they're normally holding it anyway. Hold that smartphone up in the air. So nearly every hand is in the air. I said, put your hand down if you've never made a video call. Now, we've all been through COVID. We've made video calls. So we've all got the not only the technology in our pockets, but we've got the training to do that. And then I say to people, if your hand's still up, if you can spare, put your hand down if you can't spare just 10 minutes once a fortnight. I mean, if you can't, then your diary, your life is a bit more of a challenge than thinking necessarily just about this. But you've got the tools, the technique, and the training to be part of this. And we as Farmer Time support you as the farmer, or you if you're the teacher, to make those calls as effective as possible. Most farmers say they're really nervous before the first one. That's great. It means you're concentrating. It means you'll be thinking about it. But I get so many emails and messages saying, I was really nervous. It was brilliant. I can't wait for it the next time. It's already the highlight of my week. Thank you. So, we're back to JFDI, aren't we?
Yep, I think we are. A ringing endorsement for people who haven't already looked at Farmer Time to go on the internet and go to farmertime.uk. Is that right, Tom?
Farmertime.uk without the co. Farmertime.uk.
Fantastic. Great stuff. So we talked a little bit about using our phones there. And Tom, how do you think other social media or digital tools can be used to share the story of what's going on farms with children and schools?
Yeah, do you know, other industries would absolutely kill for the backdrop that we have. You know, the incredible scenery which we steward, we look after. That is a man-made and man-impacted environment that we look after, which was is so highly cherished by the British public. I think people often see social media as a place of combat, of kind of argument and kind of heated discussion. A lot of farmers I see who are doing a great job in representing British farming and reminding people why they need to buy British. They're just taking some pictures. It doesn't need an extensive commentary. You don't need to get in a tussle with a vegan or to make some kind of outlandish statement about something. You just need to say, you know, today we're planting potatoes, or today I'm bringing the sheep in to check their feet, or today I'm doing whatever, or just a picture. You know, this is my scenery today. This is my farm, and I'm proud and passionate about it. That's all it takes. And actually, if we had every farmer, there's 100,000 of us in the UK. If we had every farmer sharing just some of the beautiful things that we get to see every day, it would remind the British public why they can be proud to buy British produce and to support educational projects linking schools with farms.
So, Louise, what role can perhaps things which people listening might feel are a little smaller, like offering talks to, I don't know, young farmers perhaps, or other younger, perhaps uniformed groups, the Scouts, Beavers, Guides, perhaps lending resources or getting involved at local shows? What can those sorts of efforts play in inspiring young people?
Massive. All it takes is one little spark just to kind of ignite and kind of start that journey for that young person that kind of maybe hadn't thought of something, or they didn't know, or they learned something new, or it was fascinated, or it was gross. You know, all those kind of things is enough to kind of get that muscle memory and kind of thinking about it. And those small things aren't actually small things, they are huge. And we've all experienced stuff through our lives where someone in our childhood or even adulthood has shown us something or taught us something or said something that just resonates. And it might not resonate straight away. It just might be that little seed that then sort of germinates over time and then, flourishes into something. And it can help us question. And I think we all need that. You know, every day is a school day, even for us as adults. You know, we all need to be not held to account, but just sometimes reminded or shown to be grateful for what we've got and where we are. And I think that's really important. So no thing is too small, ever.
Yeah, love that. Love that. You've both reminded me of a couple of points there. To Tom speaking about putting sort of using social media and putting some pictures up. One of the most responded to posts that I've done on Instagram has been some photos of a calf being jacked from its mother when it was calving. Certainly got some really positive engagement with people who just didn't know that that's occasionally what happened. And of course, we're at pains to describe when it happens, why it sometimes happens, and the outcomes. And then when we've had my children's friends on the farm, we've been fortunate enough to have just had a calf born. They see that calf with all of the afterbirth and they just think it's horrendous and it's so gooey and gory and sticky, and they absolutely love it. You know, they are thrilled to see it. So it's those things which can be really, really engaging. So just to close, and I know what Tom might say on this one, but let's see anyway. If a farmer only has 10 minutes a week to spare, what's one thing that they can do to make a real impact? And perhaps what do we think and hope the impact will be?
Obviously, if you've got 10 minutes a week, that means you can be part of Farmer Time, which is only 10 minutes every other week. But in your off week, I would really recommend you getting in touch with, as I said, either the editor of a local parish magazine. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire ring me all the time because there aren't many farmers who get in touch with them about issues, and they're constantly looking. They love to go live to a farm because it's so exciting for them. The same with your local news station. I would just get in touch, just reach out, say, I'm a farmer. This is this. If you ever got any issues related, any kind of topics relating to any of the following things, then get in touch with me. Or can I write a monthly column just sharing what life is like on the farm? They'll be well up for it. You will be universally well received, I am confident. And I'll finish with JFDI.
Fantastic. So JFDI, we've filled our month with at least 2 Farmer Time 10-minute chats. We've got 1 parish magazine and then 1 phone into a local radio station. Love it. We filled up that month pretty well. Louise, how about you? If we've got 10 minutes to spare and we maybe don't fancy some of Tom's ideas, what's one thing that farmers can do, maybe in addition, to make a real impact?
Oh, definitely have a wow factor. Try and create a wow conversation with someone, whether it's in the village shop, whether it's going into the school, sharing something with the school, taking something into the school, offering to go into a school assembly. That's kind of only 10 minutes, and go and give that wow factor and inspire and engage, and just kind of, or invite, do some invitations and do a farm walk, not in 10 minutes, obviously, but it will take 10 minutes to think about it and action
Fantastic.
it.
Love the idea of that wow factor, telling people something they didn't know, or giving them a bit of a taste of something that is brand new to them. Fantastic. Thank you both. It's been a brilliant bonus episode. If you want to hear more and haven't already, please go back and make sure you listen to the main episode from last week.
Cornish Mutual, farming insurance experts.
Thanks for listening to this bonus episode of Farming Focus. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so that you don't miss any episodes in the series.